welcome back to the channel and good morning. It is 6 a.m. in Snowrunner, Russia time here right now. And as you can see, we are hauling big logs towards the sawmill. We are going to take the southern path towards the quarry. Why not, right? You know, we have a little bit of a longer haul then, a little bit more of a difficult haul, but it is a haul that we can make easy peasy with this beautiful Azov. As you can see, it is the Azov 7321. And a 0 though. It's a beautiful tractor, also known as a truck, of course, you know, because it has now a trailer behind it. But in general, it's called a tractor too. But yeah, you know, it's an amazing vehicle though. It has so much power and grip, and I highly recommend using this one for your long logs or the Tatra. And I was actually flipping a coin though, right? You know, with the Tatra yesterday, and for now we decide to haul with this big beauty. We can still do the same with the Tatra itself though. And maybe we might do the medium logs with the Tatra. After all, then we can do 2 at a time, I suppose. So yeah, you know, like the den was sold, as you do know from yesterday, right? You know, we didn't have any grip or anything. We had a lot of power, and this makes it a little bit sad though. It's a very unique truck. And the power is absolutely insane on that thing, but the tires just don't get any grip, you know, and you really struggle very hard in medium to deep mud. Deep mud is to be expected with around, I would say, this will be like 15 to 20 tons. Easy peasy though, those logs are tremendously heavy. So yeah, you know, like, it's to be expected in deep mud, but this truck can handle it. Can just pull the right through. Now, as I thought, we have to go right over there. Very understandable though. We took the scenic route because I wanted to try out this one a little bit more. Yesterday I compared it to the den, and the den miserably did lose against the Azov here. Even when the Azov did dig its nose into Mother Earth, it just did pull it forward. You know what I mean though, right? You know? So, it's a good comparison, and I will not go back. I might change my opinion with the Azov here compared to the Tatra, because the Tatra is one of my favorite trucks ever. You know, like, it did help us out so incredibly much though in Michigan, and I just love the design of it. And of course, you know, like, this one is a very close one. Look at that. We even have a cabin too, so, you know, like, a pretty premium size one. Don't take the southern road, no matter what truck. It's a very muddy part of the quarry though, so be careful, alright? Take the northern one from the wetlands. But it just proves how powerful this one is. And if this one can do it, the Tatra can do it too. The only difference is that this truck is quicker in top speed. Not quicker in pulling through muds and stuff like that, but quicker in top speeds in general. So if you have steady roads, you know, like off-road, like what we are on right now with here and there pads of deep mud, take this one. If you have to go through very deep mud and you need a lot of power, go with the Tatra. That is my recommendation though. So take it with a grain of salt, try it out for yourself. You know, the truck has to fit your style too, of course. Without that, there's no trucking, right? There's no trucking. It's all personal. And vibes and feels and, you know, you name it, right? You know. Alright, let's put it in high gear because we are rolling. And in high gear, though, we do have good, decent speed. Especially in deep mud. And it doesn't go like gear up, gear down like in automatic. Back in automatic though, because right now we are on off-road roads. Just sandy roads, right? Which are of no issue. I cannot wait until we have much more experience and many more trucks unlocked. So I could do maybe a nice comparison here and there, right? You know, like put them off against each other. That will be fun. And deep mud, so high gear. And automatic though. For that little bit of mud, we didn't have to do that, to be honest, to be very fair. But look at this though. Yeah, in this part the Tetra will dominate. Especially that little part in front of us. Ooh, I'm dreading this though. I knew it was on the road, on the path. I know that we can do it easily, to be honest, but I'm dreading it. Because one mistake though, right? You know, it's all what it takes. That's the beautiful thing about this game. Every little road, no matter how often you go through it, it's an adventure. Oh yeah. I don't want to make a picture though, you know what I mean? Yeah, this is a worthy picture though, I would say, right? Maybe good enough for a thumbnail. Oh, and for the comparison, just to be clear, I have changed the gears, right, to a weaker one. We don't have low plus or low minus. It has a little bit less power right now, but that is just to make it a little bit more fair towards the den. And by this time, when you are following me, or if you have played Michigan and Alaska, you have the better gear at this point too. So don't worry about that too much though. It's not a magical trick that you have to get it. You have picked it up by now. Woo, that's not good. I was thinking, like, maybe this would be a smarter route. But now that I look at it, not really though, not really. We will continue. We will continue. The route is decent. But to the left is, it's more decent, right? You know, it's less cornery and it's a little bit more well-traveled. It might sometimes be a bad thing though, right? Because think about the mud tracks of other trucks and all. Great, it's going to rain. That's not a good thing for us though. Absolutely not. A little bit of road, doesn't matter. And do you see the logs? Yeah, that will pick up rather soon too. That we are going to drive over quite a bit. Got a bit of them. It's better with grip than the mud on its own. That's what I'm doing right now. It's just to drive over it because I want to. But it's not a clear all and all, right? You know, you can still slip on the logs because they are wet and muddy. And your tires don't have the grip there either. But think about it. A round object. Trying to find grip on a round object. You know, like tires are gonna against the logs. I kind of want to do this again, this route. I really kind of want to do it again, but then with the Tatra. I think that might be a very interesting thing for us to do, right? Yep, I have to not forget though, right, how long this setup is right now. It's not a disaster over here though, but we have to keep that in mind because I'm certain we will face a lot of regions though that do need the very tight corners, right, you know? Especially with long hauls like that. Somebody's happy down there, huh? Bouncing the whole time. Look at that bounce though. Oh yeah, it's good that it's still on it though. It's could have easily slipped off, right? But so far, you know, like everything is going smoother than I thought. So I was already anticipating in certain maps, like, yeah, this is going to be a pure struggle, right? You know, with the snow in Alaska, the deep mud in Russia. And Michigan, though, was very time consuming. It was very new. Did a lot of mistakes, though, like logistic plannings and all. But I have to say, all in all, though, everything is going super smooth. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. We had to go to Zimnegorsk. Yep, we had to go to Zimnegorsk. Right over there, that's just a log station, huh? That we could pick things up to. That is kind of cool to know, by the way, now that we do know that. Let's see. Log station. Medium logs and long logs. Oh my. Oh my. I did not know that. I did not think about it. I should have known it. Been here twice. One might say. Times 10, right? You know, so 20 times. We should have known this one. The haul will be so much easier. I've misread the map. It's 30, dude. Yep, this is what I meant with the Michigan logistic issue. It doesn't want to turn the way how I want to. Yep, it's just sliding. So let's take the long route around, if we can, that is. Can we? Maybe, if we are lucky. Oh yeah, we can, definitely can. Nice. At a place like this, though, how it looks, you know, the work is tough, the work is rough, and the work keeps going. Oh yeah, there's no, let's say, you know, like Friday, early work ends, drinking a little bit of coffee and maybe snacking a little bit though, right, you know, to get a close teamwork going. I had a job like that though. I was always invited every Friday, but I have a work motto like work is work, you know, and personal life is separated. You know what I mean? It just avoids drama. It avoids anything though, right? You know, and if you're too close with your colleagues, it might turn into group politics or issues or stuff like that. That's my motto though, right? You know, trying to avoid such things at all costs, right? You know, no matter what job you have. If you have certain jobs, you know, like being a policeman, fireman, you know, where you have to go through hell together, it's different. You know, it's different. You have to have that very bonds, that very close bond. And it's kind of weird, by the way, you know, like I had a different job too. I don't drink alcohol, so the kept inviting, well, not because of that though, he didn't know. But, you know, but he kept inviting me to a bar. Every darn Friday after work, right, you know. And he felt insulted though, right, you know, he felt insulted. Until someone explained to them, I don't drink alcohol, right, you know, so... I don't know, he still asked so sometimes though. Right, but... What am I going to order there, you know? Like a glass of milk or something, you know what I mean? They do have cola and everything, but... not sure. I was a little bit more stricter back then though, right? You know, with these things. I'm loosening up big time. I don't mind it. And if people keep inviting me, maybe I should be a little bit more like, yeah, dude, sure. But my advice though is still, right, you know, be careful. Because people love drama over everything. You know how it is, right? You know? And sadly, there is not one job on this green, beautiful world where you don't see drama between colleagues, right? Never. Never ever is there a place where that doesn't happen. I should have actually get some gasoline here. I think I should just go back while I'm here. Oh, no! Remove cargo? No. Wait a minute. Don't tell me right now. Don't tell me right now that I kind of screwed up here. Oh, no! I forgot. I forgot. That it is this type of trailer. How can I... Whoa, 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 whoa. No, 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 no. Okay. Oh. Oh, yep. How can I forget that this is that type of trailer? How could I forget it? How, oh how? It gives me an excuse to use the Tiger right now. And it gives me an excuse to actually go back, get the logs, go over here and tank up. You know what I mean, though? Did I accept this one? Yeah, there were 2 missions that I did not pick up. And then once we did build things up, though, I believe 1 more did pop up, though. So, yeah, you know, that's that. How could I forget, right? How could I? Let's just accelerate right over here if we still can. He just doesn't want to tip, though. So it might be like I screwed this entire thing up, though, which is interesting. Yeah. I think we kind of did, though. We got to remove the cargo. We already have. We have to detach the trailer. Well, that was a pain, though, to recover. Wow, that is not an easy truck to tip back over, though. So, careful. Don't be like me. Definitely don't be like me. Alright, now we have to try to get this one back. And then we have to get some gasoline, and then off we are once more. And here we go. Right where we left off, though, huh? 391 liters in the gas tank, though. We are ready to haul, rumble, and go back and forth. Oh yeah. Man, these missions, though, you gotta prepare. I've read some forums, though, right? You know what people like and dislike about the game. And logging is one of the big dislikes. Because it's slow, it's tough, and it's repeatable, right? You know, because it's never one log or set. It's always 3 or 2. And I have to say, though, I don't really mind. I do get where you're coming from, right? You know, I do get where you're coming from. But so far, though, it's a very chill experience for me. I do like it. I do like it quite a lot, to be honest, right? You know? For me, it's nothing else than just hauling, let's say, washing machines here. You know what I mean, though? What I would like to see in the game, and I really want to see that in the game, where we have to haul some trucks. And I don't mean, you know, just drag and repair. Is that we do need a truck trailer, load a truck on the back of it, right? And haul that to a company, to a factory over here somewhere, or maybe to a farmhouse or something like that. I would really appreciate such missions because it's realistic. You know what I mean, though? Or some XXL equipment, you know, from tractors to, you know, like wind wings or massive cranes or. Oh, we have to go all the way over there. Interesting. You know, like all those places like windmills, right, for electricity, mega solar panels, factory machines where you really have to go for the XXL cargo. You know, I would really appreciate such cargos, but we already have a couple like those, right? You know, where we have to haul a massive generator or a drill or something like that. And that's pretty cool, though, in my book. That's pretty cool in my book. I really want to try this with the Tatra, by the way. I really want to try it with the Tatra, because I think it will be a lot of fun. And this southern part is a little bit more muddy, but it's not the end of the world, though. Put it in high gear if you need low gear, but high gear might do the trick mostly. But logging is one of the toughest missions that I have experienced in this game. By far. By far. The roads are often very, very muddy and tough. But it just shows too, right? You know, like it's a basic human material that we have used for thousands and thousands and thousands of years. And it kind of fits that it is actually, you know, like the roughest thing that we can do. And it's kind of crazy to think about it. We have whole massive drill pods. Massive generators. And it wasn't as difficult as the long logs or the medium logs. And I do kind of smile at that irony, right? You know? Of old world. What are we stuck on? Not that big boulder yet, though, but there was something there hidden in the mud. But that we are struggling, though, no matter how strong, you know, like the tractor is or the truck. Primal woodworking. I love it. Meets modern technology, you know? Put the lights on, and not just that, let's turn the beacons on too. While we are here at a little bit more civilized place than out in the woods. Max speed is around 23 kilometers an hour. I would say that's like 12 miles per hour, maybe 13. And that's on solid roads, mind you, right? That's something we should not forget either. It would be smart if we will turn there to the left. Because if we go forward here, when we can go left, we will get some very, very deep mud and tight roads. And there's certain things splattered all over the road too, right? You know, like old vehicles. So it's difficult to maneuver. I did a driver update, by the way. There are a couple of stunts. Great, right? Yeah. Whoa! Wow, we went underwater completely. Okay. Yeah, this cabin is very low. Do you hear the squeak? Ooh, I don't like that sound, though. I don't like that sound of that squeak, though. It's like metal slowly bending. But if I listen more closely, it was tick, 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 tick. You know, not like that squeak that you have with metal. Why can we not grab that electric pole? Doesn't make much sense. There we go. But yeah, you know, because it's more like wood and it was the fence probably. We all know the squeaking of metal. One of the reasons why I do love roadcraft so much though is that we can fix these roads. And the difference that we can have on those roads though is just absolutely amazing feeling, right? That we fixed it up. The issue what we also might have though is that you don't really have a lot to do after that, after a while, right? Because we have made some very, very big and long roads, but then we didn't have to use it anymore, so that's a little bit disappointing. But to make those roads, man, there's nothing that is more satisfying than first struggling and then you don't have to struggle at all anymore. What I'm going to do though is I'm going to get the Tatra. Well, I kind of wanted to try out a new truck though, right? And our Tatra sadly is beautiful though for other jobs, but this time, yeah, the old girl cannot do what I wanted to do. So we are going to buy the Antarctica right over here. I mean, it might be money lost or it might be money won for me. We will have to find out later on though. I'm sure that it will be a good truck to have in our collection anyways. 71 tires. We are going for the MSH3 right over here. And heavy stock. Yeah, I'm not sure that we do need that. But let's just pimp it out. I mean, we want to have every vehicle too anyways, right? So this is what it is. And so far, I don't really mind spending a little bit of extra money. This one is not bad. Or lose a little bit, clearly. All right, let's see. Log carrier right over here. We have barely any money left though, but that's all right. That's all right. It's easy money making in this game though. Little note on what I've experienced so far. The 71-inch wheels do look glorious, no Dante. They are handsome wheels though. Look at the beauty of it. Very intimidating, very powerful. Now, you also do see the leather, right? Yeah, that's the issue. It takes away like half of the tires almost. You know, like, well, not completely half, but 1/4 of the tires are gone by leverage over hitting anything on the road. So climbing and mud, it just gets dragged on there, which is a shame. Which is an absolute shame though. It's an S Plus tier engine that we have right now, so I know for real though it will not be too much of an issue as you can see right now, but it still does slow down while it's digging in. If it wasn't for the stairs, we will just be sliding over it like a boat, you know, being sliding over the water while there's still a part of it underwater. And the part underwater should be the tires at this part and not solid metal that's just dragging on. Another part is what I've noticed with this truck, what you really have to get used to though, is the scissor-like steering mechanism. If I steer to the left while driving, it feels like the rear of the truck is actually going right and left at the same time, right? You will probably see it in a second though. Well, I'm sure you will. Yeah, did you see? It kind of slides directly. I go now left, see, right, Okay, that's a little bit too much because I was going left and forward. Let's do it in a little bit safer location. Okay, let's drive forward. And I have to turn left right now. See? It slides in the end. It slides hardcore in the end. That is something you have to get used to though, but you will get used to it though if you pay a little bit of attention. If you cannot, just drive it in this way. All issues gone. That's our little doggo right over there. But yeah, you know, all the issues are gone. It is not tip heavy, I'm certain. Let's try it. It is tip heavy. That is actually very good to know. Very good to know. Very good to know, because the Tatra is not tip heavy. We could have done this with the Tatra without issue. So I like this. This is all about knowledge though. Personal knowledge. I want to grow with the trucks. And it's good that we do. This is so interesting right now. Right? It is struggling more. Look at the speed though the tires go at. So it's either minus plus. We don't have the grip right now. And we have very good tires though for deep mud, normal mud, or hard snow. And for highway, it is pretty decent though. It's the MHS2. Or 3 actually. 3 is a little bit better. Yeah, 3 is better for deep mud. And just slightly though. But truck is kind of struggling though to climb that. This is very interesting. Maybe because differential lock is not on. But that is interesting. That is something I really did not expect here. Wow. I'm actually, you know, like so heavily surprised because look at the size of the engine room though, right? And the tires and everything. Size doesn't matter everything, right girls? So yeah, it shows a lot though. But is it a bad truck? No. No, no, no. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Do I recommend it? If you do like the truck a lot though, right, you know, and a weird little wonky movement when you're driving, yes. If you need a powerful truck, yes. If you want a fun truck, yes. So do I recommend it? Yes. You know, like it's simple. It's an absolute yes. But the deeper mud is coming. So let's go towards there. I had to take this opportunity though. We avoided this one with the other one, with the Azov. This is an Azov 2, by the way. This is the Azov 4220 Antarctic. Just to be sure, with a little bit of damage though. But it takes this like a champion though. The tires are better than what we have on the other Azov. Keep that in mind. I don't have the best tires on the other one. For deep mud, that is. It is still a little bit rated for Michigan, although there are very deep mud parts there too, but it wasn't the main focus, right, you know? More like difficult terrain with high slopes on one side. And of course we have that massive swamp. But in general, and that riverbed. In general, this is going way better through the deep mud, as you can clearly see. Especially if we go in low gear plus with differential lock engaged. Yeah, this is way quicker. So, I don't know what to say. I mean, we have to try the other Azov out. With deep mud 2 again. With different tires. I think that will be a very interesting thing to do, to be fair. And I think I will do that. It will be very interesting to see this little part. Yeah, sometimes we have episodes like this, right, you know, where we are just going to try out the differences between certain trucks and all. I mean, hey, it's part of the game, let's be honest too, right, you know. It's not always going to be mainly mission focus or whatsoever. I think we are all interested in trucks in general, right, and how they perform. But wow, this truck, man, this is a mud hauler for real. This is a massive deep mud hauler. And I'm just sitting here staring right now, like it feels so natural to go through all of this. But it could all be the tires, you know what I mean though? It could just be the tires. There was another truck I wanted to compete Ooh, yeah, it's a little bit slow in the corners here. Although it has a scissor cut steering. Oh boy. Oh yeah, it's sliding a little bit, as you can see. But wow, man, I'm impressed. Oh, let's go. Differential lock has to be disengaged, of course, you know. But wow, I highly recommend it though. You know, like this map is heavy duty bound with mud. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, use it. Use it. I think what I will do though, right, because medium logs are super heavy too. They are just as heavy as the long logs, if you can carry 2 medium at the same time. So keep that in mind. The thing though is, right, you know, it is the same weight then. As far as I know, so I will say it comes very, very close. But with this, you cannot go wrong. And I wonder how much the tires are to blame for that, right? On the other Azov. So yeah, we will definitely try it out. And we will see how it goes. And I like these tests, though. I really do enjoy it. Now let's see. Right over here. Oh, we are going nosediving also. And we instantly have traction here. With the differential lock, low gear plus. Even when we are digging in though, right, you know, before steers, we were moving slightly. Wow. Okay, right now there is no comparison. Right now there is absolutely zero comparison though. Small trick for those. If you are rolling, but not yet at top speed, put it in high gear. Keep it there for a second or two, and then put it directly back towards advanced, because then you are in auto 4 out of 5. There we go. Oh, 1 out of 5. Did he change that? There we go, 4 out of 5. Okay, we had to do it a couple of times though, apparently, so that's kind of funny. It's a little bit tip heavy, as we did find out. One might think so, of course, right? You know, with how tall it is. But it's very wide too, so one might think it is not top heavy. There we go. So yeah, I'm really debating right now though, right? Shall we go and take that one again and try the different gears, or shall we wait with that one for the medium log haul? It would make sense to try that, doesn't it? This one is just going to stay here for now. Yeah, let's do it. By the way, we have the yacht MHS4 on. So it's mud, heavy, or yeah, no, mud high, single. All right. Heavy is a different for something else. DMHS2, I would recommend. Or like with the other one, we went for number 3. So let's go for that one. We can sell one of these, and then we can sell these to make a little bit of money back. And it's almost all heavily up though, right? We can go back with that one, sell these two. So it's a little bit stronger. The other one is maxed out. We don't have the active right over here, but that's all right. That's no issue at all. Well, let's go and compare this one. Going uphill. Butter smooth, just in automatic. No high gear needed so far, or low gear plus. Butter smooth though. That's a positive in my book, right? And the steering feels very natural. So that's a massive positive in my book. Alright, so this is the ultimate puddle right there. Now what do you think will happen? I think this truck will get stuck, to be very fair. To be very fair, it will get stuck though. Almost instantly. Yep. So, one of my favorite trucks is losing for deep mud. Wow. Kind of hurts though. Kind of hurts. Kind of disappoints. Still very good for different tasks though, but for logs, ooh, you know what I mean though? Yeah, the ultimate test, this big boy failed. The other one was no issue at all though, no issue at all. Let's go into the low gear, get a little bit more traction. But it could be because of one reason. We don't have the race suspension of this truck. So we have to keep that in mind. Alright? We have to keep that absolutely in mind though, to keep it fair. Because this over here seems to be a better challenge though, right? For comparison right now. Because right now we don't need the race suspension. We were in low gear plus with the other one, so let's go with this one too. Oh yeah. Yeah, it's clear. The other one wins, but look at that. We are deep in mud here. So it might be because of this. Meaning, for a very heavy task though, this one goes into retirement until we do find something that we can love about it, right? You know, and that is, well, what shall we call it, right? You know, a race suspension, of course. Like winch point? Yeah, that one. Apparently there's nothing even close by. Well, that kind of sucks. But that's kind of interesting though right now. As you can see, we are slowly raising our front or nose from the mud and we are moving forward. Isn't that interesting though? It would be absolutely overpowered, I have to admit though, if we already had the race suspension. And it is already overpowered. And we did just sabotage ourselves here with the little tree. Just blocking our progress. But this is enough. Our big boy over here, the Azov 73210, is the loser of this test. Is it the loser in general though? Absolutely not. It's one of my favorite trucks though, of all time. At least of what I have unlocked, right, you know, and probably of all time then too. Unless something else we will find, unlock, you know, that will just blow this truck to the moon and back though. And not in a very romantic way. Let's try this one out. Oh, it is hauling though. But not for long. Not for long, I'm telling you. Come on, little boy. You can do it. Talking about us though, the driver right in front of there, right, you know. Ah. Yeah, he cannot. You know, he's not playing in the big leagues anymore, right? You know, we failed the test with this truck. So from being a big boy, he became a little boy, you know, like, yeah, it is something else, but oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. And there's something going on with this too. I cannot connect anything to it. This is very interesting. We can do it like this though, but we cannot do it manually. The last little stretch though of power struggling. I do like this test. It gave me a lot of insight though, right, you know, and I thought we were at the pinnacle with this vehicle. We are not. The race suspension might put it back up though. But there we are, right, there we are. That's much better than what we have had lying around here. Should do nicely. Got 17k from that though. Not a bad deal, I would say. But oh boy, oh. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh. Let's go park right behind this one. Because now we have to do a couple of medium logs though. Deliver to the shipwreck. Query. Alright, that's not going to be a difficult task. It's going to be a very difficult one, though. So by that, I want to thank you all for tuning in. I really appreciate it. Have a wonderful time, and I will see you guys in the next one. Stay happy, stay healthy, and don't forget to subscribe, though. Bye-bye.